भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो परम ऋषिभ्यो नमो नमः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। So Hari Om, welcome to this third episode of Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra Gita is the truth about reality spoken directly to us. There is no mincing words, there is no mollycoddling, there is no trying to make us feel happy or feel nothing to make us feel comfortable. So telling the truth in a soft way, it is very direct and it is very clear. So it is only the most daring people would love to study the Ashtavakra Gita. Otherwise, if we are of a more softer tone, we want something to do with this world and also have the knowledge. And the Bhagavad Gita is the ideal. The Bhagavad Gita tells us about karma yoga. It tells us about how to do action. Then it tells us about bhakti yoga, how to be with a lot of love. What is love? All that it talks about. And then jnana yoga. What is the truth? What is the knowledge? In a gentle manner, it touches the knowledge in chapter 15, and again goes back to sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna, explaining all those qualities and what is tyaga, what is dharma, what is artha, what is kama. All these things are spoken about in the Bhagavad Gita. But the Ashtavakra Gita is very direct. It is like slicing with a very sharp knife, slicing the truth with a very sharp knife. So we saw the previous verse was Nirapeksho nirvikaro nirbhara shitalashayaha agadha buddhirakshubdha bhava chinmatra vasanaha. So chinmatra vasanaha bhava. Be as that knowledge, the truth itself, rather than being identifying with something this and that very small. Be the chinmatra vasana. Be as that self, as that consciousness which is ever present. The next verse, what is the number of this verse? 18th verse. Sakara manrutam vidhi nirakaram tu nishchalam etat tattvopadeshena na punarbhava sambhavaha. So there is no mincing words. We may say, I love my Krishna, I love my Rama, I love my Subramanya Swami, I love my Ganesha. They are all gods with forms. Sakaram anrutam vidhi. Everything is false. Ashtavakra Gita says in one line. So it requires a lot of daring to study the Ashtavakra Gita. And also not daring in the hardened sense, but daring with the mind that is conditioned with the love for the divine, the mind that has been purified with sadhana. For them, this daring is very good. Otherwise, without all the purification of mind, without all the true love for divine and true love for the society, true love for other human beings in us, when we study this, it will not give us the real understanding of the truth in the first place. And it can also create a false arrogance about, oh, I am a jnana yogi, I don't need all this, there is no God, there is no that, there is no this. All this we will just shun without the true realization. So it is very important to work on purification of the mind And as we listen to Ashtavakra Gita also, and listen with a lot of humility and love for the knowledge. Sakaram Anrutam Vidhi. Sakaram means what we see, anything with form. Anything with form and divine qualities are Anrutam. Anrutam means they are not the absolute truth. Instead of saying they are untruth, we can say they are only relative truths. They are not the absolute truth. Vidhi, then what is the absolute truth? Nirakaram to nischalam. Nirakaram, without any form, that is nischalam. Nischalam is very stable, very steady, non-moving, formless. Etat, etat, et, etat tattva upadeshena. With this tattva upadesha, with this upadesha means upa samipe, desha is close, bringing the mind close to the truth. Upadesha, etat tattva upadeshena na punarbhava sambhavaha. That person cannot be born again. That person, it is not possible for that person to take another birth again. We take another birth if we have not processed our emotions, if there are a lot of charged emotions in us, charged thoughts in us, emotions or desires that are filled with charge, then we will take birth again. We will take birth again even if we identify ourselves with one God, one divine form, or one religion, or one truth. Also, we will be born again. We will be born again even if we don't have all these identifications. If we have not completely realized who I am, even then we will be born again. So, a person who is understanding that nirakaram to nischalam, when he understands what is that formless one which does not move at all, etat tattva upadeshena, by this tattva upadesha, by bringing the mind close to the truth, na punarbhava sambhavaha, there is no possibility for that person being reborn. Yathaiva darsha madhyasthe रूपेन तफ परितस्तु सहा रूपेन्तः तथैवास्मिन् शरीरेन्तः परितः परमेश्वरः. Very beautiful. Yatha eva adarsha madhyaste, existing in a mirror. I am looking at the mirror. My form is seen in the mirror. Rupe antaha, within, paritaha, without, tu saha. That mirror exists. Very, very beautiful example. Even now, as you see my form on the screen, whether you're seeing on the computer or whether you're seeing on a mobile phone, you can visualize this as if you're seeing yourself in the mirror. You're seeing the form in the mirror. Your form is there and the whole screen is there. And paritaha, antaha, inside that form there is Parameshwara. Outside that form there is Parameshwara. That is that supreme. Tasmin, tathaiva asmin, sharirasthe antaha paritaha Parameshwara. What a beautiful understanding is this. So when you see in the mirror, it is not that form or outline that is you. What you see in the whole mirror, everything that you see on the mirror, everything that you see reflected in the mirror, including yourself, including the body, including the objects behind. See, so many objects are there. Behind there's a lamp, there's a Bhagavad Gita picture, there's a Bhagavad Gita picture on top. There are so many things on the table. There is a lamp here. Everything is reflected in the screen. Everything is Parameshwara, or including this form that is reflected. Paritaha Parameshwaraha. It's a very beautiful. The reflection is in the mirror, and the mirror pervades within and without the reflection caught in it. The reflection has no existence apart from the mirror. Even when the reflection is not there, the mirror continues to be. Similarly, reflected in the three bodies, the gross body, Stula Sharira, subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, and the causal body of the three gunas, Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna, and the experience of bliss, causal body, consciousness appears to dance to the rhythms of the bodies, and this reflection, abhasaha, caught in our own heart, is called the ego or the jiva. The jiva is called the ego. Ekam sarvagatam vyoma bahirantaryatha gate nityam nirantaram brahma sarvabhuta gane tatha. Those who love knowledge will simply love Ashtavakra Gita. Those who love contemplation. Ekam sarvagatam vyoma. There is one sky which is everywhere, which is present everywhere. Bahihi antaryatha ghate. There is a pot. Inside the pot also there is sky. Outside the pot also there is sky. Nityam nirantaram Brahma. In the same way, Nityam, eternal, nirantaram, endless. There is no inside or outside. It is endless. Brahma, sarva bhuta gane tatha. In every creature, in every created being, that Brahman is there within, that Brahman is there without, in the same way. So we come to the end of the first chapter of the Ashtavakra Gita, consisting of 20 verses we have completed. And the most beautiful understanding is Brahman is everywhere and you are not different from that Brahman. When we see into the mirror, just imagine the mirror is Brahman and you are looking into the mirror. In that Brahman, your form is also reflected. There is no difference between your form and the rest on the mirror. So this one shloka to keep contemplating and meditating on and constantly thinking about will take us to that realization of what the Brahman is. The next chapter says the marvelous self. What is the self? So Janaka is asking the question. Raja Janaka, King Janaka, he is a Rajarshi, meaning Janaka is a seer of truth. He is not just a king who is interested in expanding the kingdom, who is interested in creating relevance for himself by ruling the people, charging taxes, and providing, doing good actions for the people and finding fulfillment through that. That is not only Janaka. Janaka finds his fulfillment through the realization of that knowledge, and he has got the blessing of being the student of Ashtavakra, and he is asking this question. Janaka uvacha aho niranjana shantaha bodhoham prakrite paraha etavantamaham kalam mohenaiva vidambitaha aho niranjanaha shantaha bodhaha aham prakrutehe paraha. I have realized now with all your teachings of all these 19 verses I listened to you, I have realized I am niranjanaha. I am taintless. There is no taint in me. I am that Brahman. Shantaha. I am very calm. There is no desire in me. Bodhaha aham. I am that very knowledge of the truth. Prakrutehe paraha. I am beyond Prakriti, which comprises of Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. And the Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna are constantly overlapping each other, overpowering each other, taking up place from each other, constantly moving, constantly changing. I am beyond the constantly changing Prakriti. Prakriti are very well created. From that Brahman only this Maya came. And Maya is that Prakriti which is made up of Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. Maya is power of that Brahman, which has these three gunas. Etavantam aham kalam mohenaiva vidambinaha. I was bewildered, I was confused in moha or delusion. What is moha? It is not, I am caught in darkness, I am caught in ignorance, and I do not know the distinguishing factor between who am I and what is not I. I believe that this body is I believe that this mind is I believe that this intellect is I, and that is called moha. I believe what I see, I believe what I hear, I believe what I taste, I believe what I smell, I believe what I touch, I believe what I feel, I believe what I think about, I believe what I experience. I am merged with all this, and that merging is called moha. And when I merge with all this, and I see everything through this merging. That is called moha. Now you have taught me that I am that consciousness, and I am interested. I am so amazed to know that I am that consciousness, while for all along I was believing that I was all along, I was living in moha or delusion about who am I and what is not I. I was never aware that I am separate from all that I see, hear, taste, smell, touch, and think about and feel. Aho niranjana shantaha bodhaha aham prakrutehe paraha etavantam aham kalam mohenaiva vidambinaha. I was confused and I was dissolved in this moha or delusion. Yatha prakashayam eko dehaменam tatha jagat ato mama jagat sarvam athava nacha kinchana. Yatha prakashayami ekaha dehaменam. I throw my light of awareness on this body. At the same time, I throw my light of awareness on this whole world also. Dehamenam yatha tatha jagat. On this world also, it is my light of awareness that is falling. On this body also, it is my light of awareness that is falling. Ataha mama jagat sarvam athava nacha kinchana. Therefore, it is me alone which is this whole universe. Otherwise, nothing indeed is mine. Nothing belongs to me. Either everything belongs to me or nothing belongs to me. Very, very bold statement. Here, it is that light of consciousness which is I that shows me the presence of this body. It is that light of consciousness which is I throws itself on all the objects of this world, this whole universe, whatever we see, this laptop, this computer, or the screen, whatever we see, this house or the office, or the objects that we see around. Then when the street, the town, the city, the country, the world, the news from the world which is shown on television, the different movies that we see, everything that we see, we are able to see because the light of consciousness is falling on all the objects, falling on the whole world, and that is how we are able to see. So either I can tell I am only everything because the one who sees alone is giving the power to what is seen, to be seen. So I am everything. Or if you don't want to accept that, if you feel that is too much to accept, the other way of understanding is I am nothing at all. So these, whichever suits us, we can take it. Sashariram maho vishvam parityajya mayadhuna kutaschit kaushala deva paramatma vilokyate. Sashariram, with the body, aho, oh, vishvam, universe, parityajya, abandon. With the body, I abandon this universe. Maya, by me it is abandoned. Adhuna, now. Kutaschit, through some. Kaushalat, dexterity, skill. Eva, only. Paramatma vilokyate. That supreme self or that supreme consciousness is apprehended only by that dexterity. What is the dexterity? I discard this body as I. When we say discard the body, it doesn't mean killing the body or anything. Discarding means negating the importance that we give to the body, the form in our mind. That's all. It is as simple as that. Removing the wind of importance. Just imagine in your body, in your mind, there is one big balloon. And that balloon is your own form. That balloon has been inflated completely with your awareness. It has been stuffed with your awareness and it is shining bright. And you are thinking that form is me. Now what are we doing? We are gently removing that air, that wind out of that balloon. And when this balloon gets completely deflated, this balloon is made up of light. And when it gets completely deflated, the light of that form simply disperses. It is not there. In the same way, this whole Jagat, this whole world that we see also in our mind is a big balloon which has been inflated with the light of consciousness. When we quietly remove that valve and when we deflate that balloon, that world of Jagat also shrinks and that world of the Jagat also disappears in our mind. So there is nothing else. There is no I also, there is no Jagat also. And what else is left there? There is only that consciousness which is there. Paramatma vilokyate. So kutaschit kaushala deva. You need some technique. You need some method. You need some skill to understand, to know this Paramatma, this Supreme Self. And what is that self? Just what is that method? That method is give zero importance to the body as I and give zero importance to the world. When you give zero importance, your consciousness is withdrawn from that. And then focus your consciousness on that Supreme Self by contemplating on these verses. Where attention goes, energy flows. If we take our attention to the body, energy flows to the body thought and we give reality to the body thought. If we pay attention to the world, energy flows to the world and then we give reality to the world and we also suffer that reality. But when we take our attention away from all that, deflate it as even as a process you can do. The whole subject of neuro-linguistic programming talks about how we can understand things by keeping our hand in a mudra and then bringing the deflated image in our mind. And then we keep our hand in a mudra, that knowledge gets locked in our mind. So, kutaschit kaushala deva, some skill is required for this. Because why skill is required? Though it is very obvious, we have been trained in a different way from our childhood. So we cannot see the reality as it is so soon. So with a lot of practice, with a lot of skill, with a lot of kaushala means effortlessness in that practice, this will happen. Yatha na toyato bhinnaha taranga phena budbudaha atmano na tatha bhinnam vishvam atma vinirgatam. Vishvam atma vinirgatam. Yatha na toyataha bhinnaha tarangaha. Taranga is the waves. Toyataha na bhinna. The waves are not different from the water. Phena budbudaha. Phena is a foam in the water. Budbudaha, the small bubbles. The small bubbles are also water. The foam is also water. And the waves are also water. Atmanaha na tatha bhinnam. In the same way, Atmanaha, I, the self, consciousness, Vitvam Vishwam Atmam Vinirgatam. This Vishwam, this whole universe, and the self, this individual being, this whole universe is only born out of this consciousness. If we are seeing this whole universe with all this world, earth, all the planets and the galaxies, we are seeing it with that light of consciousness which is us. The light of consciousness which throws its light on the presence of this body is that same light of consciousness which makes us realize the presence of the whole universe. So the whole universe has come out of our consciousness only. When we realize this, there is that is a state of self-realization. Realizing in the first, you can see the example. More than concentrating on ourselves and trying to find out, we can study the example of water in the ocean. When you're walking on the beach, yatha toyataha bhinnaha tarangaha. Na, from the taranga, from the wave, the water is not different. And from the foam, the water is not different. And from the bubbles, the water is not different. So the bubbles and the foams and the waves are having different forms and different qualities. And different times they are coming and going, they are existing. But they are not different from the water. In the same way, this whole Jagat is not different from me, which is that consciousness. Tantumatro bhavedeva pato yadvad vicharitah atmatantram atmatanmatrame vedam tadvad vishvam vicharitam. Tantumatro bhavedeva pato yadvad vicharitah atmatanmatrame vedam tadvad vishvam vicharitam. Tantu matraha bhavet eva pataha. The pata or this cloth is made up of tantu. Tantu means threads. What is this cloth? You're saying it is a sari. But the sari, that bale cloth, is made up of tantu. Tantu means different weaves, different threads that are put together. Pataha, yadvat, vicharitaha. In this way, we contemplate. The previous contemplation was on the ocean. The second contemplation is on the cloth and the thread. Atma tanmatram eva idam. Atma tanmatram eva idam tadvat. Atma, the self, and tanmatra, the energy that constitutes the sense organs of perception and the sense organs of action is called the tanmatra. For example, the sight is there. The tanmatra of sight is the power of seeing. The hearing is there. The power of tanmatra is the power of hearing. The smelling is there. The tanmatra is the power of smelling. The tasting is there. The tanmatra is the power of tasting. And the feeling is there. The tanmatra is the power of touch. Atma tanmatra, this consciousness and the tanmatra are one and the same. Eva idam. Just as the consciousness only becomes this whole world, it appears to us as the whole world. The consciousness only appears as a tanmatra. Eva idam tadvat, even so, vishwam, this whole universe, vicharitam. When examined carefully, this whole universe is also the presence of that tanmatra only. There is nothing. It's consciousness and the power of consciousness, the power of the sense organs of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. They look different, but they're actually one and the same. Yathaivekshure kluptam tena vyaptaiva sharkaram tatha vishvam mayi kluptam maya vyaptam nirantaram. Ikshurase, yatha eva, just as ikshurase, in the juice of the sugarcane, klipta, produced, tena, with that juice, vyapta, pervaded, eva, entirely, sharkara. When you take the juice of the sugarcane and then that juice is sent through the processing machine, that water is dried, and what do we get? We get sharkara. But when we see sugar, we don't think about the sugar cane. The sugar was pervading the sugar cane. What has been done is the water has been removed and the sugar remains as sharkara. Tatha vishwam mayi kliptam. In the same way, this whole world of names and forms is present in me. When the names and forms are evaporated, when the names and forms, like water in that sugar cane, the water is evaporated. In the same way, the names and forms which pervade like water is evaporated, then maya vyaptam nirantaram. Only I, consciousness, remain. How beautiful is this statement? We can even write this down, and it is so beautiful to contemplate, more than the wave and the ocean and the other two examples we saw. They're all outer examples. But here the example is from within us. Imagine the whole body to be the sugarcane. And in that body is made up of a lot of water, like the sugarcane juice. And the consciousness is pervading like sugar. And imagine that body sugarcane is passing through the machine. It is being scraped and passed through the machine. The water is dried out, and then sugar alone remains. In the same way, when the names and forms dry out, everything is a name and form. One drop of blood is a form. It has got the name blood, and it has got the quality of blood. Eye is a form. It has got the name eye. It has got the quality of seeing. Ear is a form. It has got the name ear, and it's got the quality of seeing. So everything in our body is names. When you think of crushing, don't imagine your body being crushed. So it will be very painful, this exercise. When you're crushing, imagine your body is made up of names. You write on a sheet of paper eyes. Two places you write eyes. Like how they draw the chitram of Hanuman with the Rama, 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 Rama written everywhere. The whole picture of Hanuman is drawn with the name of Rama. The tail, there'll be Rama, 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 tiny. Like that, eyes, 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 eyes. You can write and draw your eyes. And then eyebrow, 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 forehead, 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 forehead. So like that, one big lengthy sheet of paper you have, and that is only you. And now the processing machine can be fire in this case. And what is there? You say, I am there in that paper, but what is actually the content of paper? The content of paper is that wood pulp. That can be only Brahman. Then you draw your picture, draw your whole picture on the paper, and then you put it to fire. What remains is that ash. That ash only remained, that carbon only remained earlier also. The carbon alone remains later. What has gone is the names and forms that are gone. In the same way, if we learn to erase our names and forms, then only that consciousness remains in us. How beautiful is this to contemplate on? We will continue tomorrow. In the meanwhile, whenever you see the mirror, whenever you see water and foam, or whenever you think about yourself as this name, form, quality, just visualize that name, form, and quality and understand that consciousness pervades this name, form, and quality within and without. Nothing else remains other than consciousness. So we will continue tomorrow. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Om Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasorma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Boliye Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Har Namah Parvati Bataye. Har Har Mahadeva. Hari Om.